One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With engines roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, man. We got a lot to discuss this morning. Let's get it. Absolutely. All right, as you guys can see on the title here, we've got Russia launches massive attack, as well as Trump speaks and Democrat surge. And we covered a little bit of all of this, I guess, in the recent days. But in particular, the Russia launches massive attack on Kyiv, Ukraine, was big. It was 500 drones plus, right? So it could have been even more than that. And then, of course, the Democrat surge. As you guys know, we were actually discussing Malat. I forget her last name. That is a Democrat or a socialist for the party. And she just won. She's like 29 years old. She's younger than me, which is surprising, and got herself basically into Congress. She got herself a House seat. So let's go ahead and give you guys a chronological breakdown of what we're going to be actually discussing this morning. We have some stuff from yesterday after the show that we need to discuss, leading us up into current time right now. So something interesting that happened that I think it went all over social media. I mean, everywhere. I saw it everywhere. 2 people in custody after scaling Empire State Building. But not only this, they scaled the Empire State Building, had the Fox, cameras on them from a helicopter point of view. And the guy proposes, which is pretty actually epic, proposed on the top of the very tip top of the Empire State Building. And then both of them got arrested. Not surprising. And then we have DHS Secretary Mullen touts Trump's, quote, one big beautiful bill, which, objectively, there was a few things in the big beautiful bill that was amazing, but it was a pork-filled bill in the beginning. In the beginning, I should say, it was actually good merits, good things that needed to happen. Once you throw it into Congress, where it goes into the House and the Senate, now they have to pork fill this motherfucker, and that's what turns it terrible. So I can't really tout about it, but there is a couple of things that are good about it. But nonetheless, I digress on that. We have President Trump speaks at Theodore Roosevelt Library yesterday. He spoke out live, and so I'm sure he's going to have some things to tell us as well as not only them. We have millions on alert as dangerous heat dome sweeps eastern United States. Yes, we are, especially over here in the east, definitely getting smoked. Southeast, northeast is actually getting smoked as well. So anyways, then we have Democratic Socialists ride wave of momentum after major wins. Yes, that's something that we discussed yesterday. And if you guys joined with us yesterday, you guys saw how chaotic that was. It was actually embarrassing. Anyways, explosions heard in Kyiv amid Russia missile and drone attack, by the way. It says explosions were heard in Kyiv overnight as Russia launched a drone and missile attack, according to the report from the New York Times. Reuters also reported that the strikes injured at least 5 people and triggered a fire in a hotel, which I'm surprised it was only that little of casualty. I mean, 5 is already going to be too much, but you know what I'm saying. with that amount of drones. I wonder what else they were hitting in Kyiv, which I don't know the answer to that yet. We're going to find that out together, obviously. Then we have 16 children found living in deplorable, quote unquote, Ohio home conditions, and the adults were arrested. Now, I think I actually saw this on Instagram yesterday, but nonetheless, this came out 10 hours ago. Then regards to Russia, the number of 5 actually scaled. I'm sorry. It went up to now 13. It says Russia launches 500 drones at Ukraine, killing 13 in massive strike. Now, 500 drones and missiles is absolutely a big attack, by the way. All right, real quick, before we get into the madness, let's go ahead and do our call to actions, and then we'll get right into the business. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it. And it's free to do so. You know what else is free? Is hitting that subscribe button. This is what we do Monday through Friday. And then, of course, we have members only on Saturday morning, man. Now, please consider becoming a member, starting only at $4.99 a month, making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody. But check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at BallVolveTV, where I post everything behind the scenes of not only my life, but as well as the show, Millennial Food Time, breaking news, as well as, politics, all that great shit. We also have a Discord server for all you legends. Make sure you guys go in the video description down below. That's where all of our community of the Insane Wheels family goes and hangs out, and we continue the conversation over there. Obviously, we're only on here for about an hour. And then, of course, last but not least, we have all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen at any time. You can donate to those. And, of course, I will receive 100% of the proceeds, and we'll read out loud anything that comes our way, just like a normal super chat, so you guys will be able to interject on the show. All right, so we've got our email up. We're scanning. Real quick, got to give a big special shout out to Papa D coming in with the 20 spot this morning, saying blessings, salutations, kind greetings. Let's fucking go. Absolutely go. Let's fucking go. That's awesome. Very much appreciate that. Showing a lot of love. It goes a long way. Thank you for making it rain in the chat. Papa D, my man. Always appreciate that. You get a little sandwich for that.
Man, motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big-ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
Facts. All right. Well, Papa D, I can't thank you enough for allowing us to do what we're doing today, man. All right. Good morning to everybody in the chat. We got Brother 13 in here, as well as Carney Vanguard and Motobomb Virginia. Thank you both, by the way, from the coffee crew for giving us a raid this morning. I'm always very appreciative of that. We got Brother So Loud from the Boondocks of North Carolina. We also have Virginia Chaos over there. Appreciate you as well. We got Charlie Rose, as well as Gary, my man. Good morning. We got Rabbit F Chaos hanging out with us this morning, as well as Steve Easy. Appreciate you guys. We got Yo Mama. Appreciate you. Good morning. Rolling on down. Let's see. We got Easy Frank. Yes, sir. Good morning. The Triple B kept money for trans kids and other horrible shit. Yet there was actually a lot of things wrong with the Triple B. I'm going to be honest. There was a cool few things that Americans are going to go ahead and benefit from, but the amount of negativity that actually came from it is terrible. I'm not going to lie. All right, we're going to keep on rolling now our way down. We got Naomi. Good morning to you, as well as Steve Posey. Yes, sir. Good morning. We got Bill Castle from over there in the state of Washington. Appreciate you. Good morning. Hell yeah, I'll take that sandwich. Facts. I definitely would as well. Actually, believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy, but I hate egg salad. I just hate egg salad in general. I'm a weirdo. Anyways, let's go and get into these stories this morning, man. First, we're going to talk about that Empire State Building climbing, and those two are in custody, and they actually got the dude proposed to her at the top of it. So it's great. We're going to see if they actually show that on this clip right here. And we got Papa D also coming in with $2 saying lots of great peeps from Motobomb community here. That's a fact, brother. So thank you for not only Papa D, but Motobomb Virginia, Sick Bastard, Carney Vanguard. You guys show a lot of love here, man. I'm very honored. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. Let's figure out what the hell's going on here.
2 people are now in custody after they scaled the Empire State Building.
And
They're also
proposed.
known, as our partners here at Fox 5 are reporting to us, as Skywalkers. We do know that their names are Angela Nicolau and Ivan Birkus. It is important to note that police have not yet confirmed those identities, but our partners at Fox 5 have said that is how they have been identified. In the meantime, though, I want to bring into the conversation Meredith Gorman. She's there with Fox 5. She was there on the ground near this area when it all unfolded. Meredith, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now from Fox.
I'm interested in the helicopter footage that they got. Oh, they do go to that footage. Good.
You were there for a separate story outside of Madison Square Garden, which we've also been talking a lot about this week, having to do with Taylor Swift. But you had a great vantage point of what
Yo, fuck Taylor Swift. Who cares?
happened there at the Empire State Building.
What's up,
That's
Carrie?
right.
Good morning.
I'm actually on 33rd Street in New York City between 7th
is
and 8th
crazy.
Avenue right now, which is in front of one of the Madison Square Garden loading docks, where there's been a lot of activity today ahead of the rumored Taylor Swift Travis Kelce wedding in just a couple days. But while we were down here,
Man, her connection is dog shit over there, dude. And she got no reception.
looking for any sights and sounds around the loading dock ahead
They're
of the
trying.
wedding, we actually
Yeah, it said right there. I don't know if you guys saw that. Look what happens on their side, by the way.
any sights and sounds
It says Meredith Gorman's network bandwidth is low. Yeah, no kidding. Look at that shit. Fucking 0 bars.
around the loading dock ahead of the wedding.
And then she
we
goes,
actually
uh-oh. Fix that. Come on.
once word started getting carried around on social media, lots of pedestrians in this area stopping to look up at, the very
that
top
shit.
of the Empire State Building. As you can see here, try and catch a glimpse of the flag. Obviously, the Empire State Building is over 1,400 feet up in the air. So really tough to see these two people from the ground level.
No, there's no doubt. But what made it interesting is that he proposed and then they both got arrested.
Where I am, but we could, of course, see the flag. Again, we couldn't really decipher what the flag said, but all of this really got picked up on social media relatively quickly. As you can see here.
Yo, for death. If you are a news reporter, you rely on internet. What kind of dense comment is that, homie?
It was a whole
I'm not talking
ordeal,
about
people on the
civilians,
ground
dummy.
wondering what was going on. There were a lot of people down here, trying to catch a glimpse of the loading docks at MSG ahead of this rumored wedding, trying to see if they could see if anything's going on. Taylor
wanna
Swift
see what's
fans
on
and
that
media
flag.
alike. When this happened, it
Does anyone know what's on that
seemed
flag?
like all attention shifted to the Empire State Building. And obviously now it looks like these two people are in custody and there is no scene anymore. But just crazy. Nobody was expecting this. And the flag also no longer there right now.
Absolutely, Meredith. And we do know that the flag said, when the power of love.
Yeah, you enjoy your shit in the shadow realm over there for death. Listen, I don't take any tolerance from fucking bullshitters like you. By the way, remember that you're watching me. You're on that side of the screen, homie. So why don't you relax? Sit down, shut the fuck up.
Beats the power. The love of power, the world knows peace. So that was the sentence
He's
that
gone.
was up there on
Fuck
the
him.
flag.
He's in the
So
shadow
Leslie,
realm.
before I let you go, as you have been again covering some of these major stories, it's a holiday weekend there in New York, possibly a Taylor Swift wedding ultimately to come. So I have to ask you, what was the energy like there as you're kind of talking to these spectators, not expecting
you're
even
gone.
in a city
Bye-bye.
like New York to see all of this unfold on a very busy weekend where I'm sure security is high around the city?
Absolutely. Well, for a short period of time while all of this was going down in the Empire State Building situation, it was what everybody was talking about. But I'm going to be
So I wonder if they're going to actually show like them getting arrested or something like that. I mean, what I would imagine with these guys being on the top of the Empire State Building, there's a lot of people down below watching it happen as well. So by the time they scale down or whatever the case is, or however they got themselves down, obviously they have to scale down somehow. I want to see the arrests.
honest now, at least from the pedestrian standpoint here on 33rd Street.
Doesn't look like we're going to see
nobody's
it.
even really talking about this anymore. It was something that lasted for, an hour or two, and then everybody kind of
Okay, I'm trying to see what this flag
went back to business.
when
So
the power of love. What's oh man, I can't
there's people walking by. This is a heavy foot
beats the love of beats the power. The world knows peace.
traffic area, and everybody's trying to catch a
Interesting.
glimpse whenever there's some activity in this loading dock area behind me here on 33rd Street. But yesterday I talked to some Taylor Swift fans who were a little unsure if the wedding is actually happening
Naomi,
at Madison
if
Square
you see me fucking smoke somebody, just leave it alone.
Garden. And today it seems like the energy is shifting a little bit, where people are like, okay, we actually believe that this wedding is happening here. They, unrolled some carpet on some stairs at one of the VIP entrances.
Oh, she read
yesterday,
it?
then
My
rolled
bad.
it back up. But because of this and all of these other signs,
What's up,
business
Joker?
owners telling me a block away on the other side of Madison Square Garden that they've been told that there will be big tents up in front of their establishments in the next couple of days. All signs point to there being a massive event here this weekend. And again, it's worth noting the next event on the venue's schedule is John Bon Jovi. That's not until July
That's interesting. It's a saying from Jimi Hendrix. Interesting.
7th. And really, when you look into how events are run at arenas like this one, it does not take a week, more than a week to set up.
Okay, we already know that. All right, we're going to move on. That was an interesting story nonetheless. So we have about 19 hours ago, DHS Secretary Mullen touts Trump's one big beautiful bill. I'm not really sure why. If I were him, I really kind of would avoid talking about that bill, but I'm sure that he got pressed on it. So let's see what happens here.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. Want to continue on with our top stories. As just a little while ago, we dipped into some of the coverage we had from Department of Homeland Security Secretary Mark Mullen as he was speaking in New York City.
What's up, Jack Telcott, my man? Good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning.
Since we only got a portion of those comments, we want to play them out for you in full here on Live Now from Fox.
Well, thank you so much for being here. It's a great day, not just because we're celebrating.
There it is. By the way, when the power of love beats the love of power, the world knows peace. Yes, I think that is in the song, right? Honestly, I've never been a super big Jimi Hendrix fan, so I know I'm going to get hate on that, but that's just me. I mean, yes, he is very skillful, very talented guitarist, all of that. I'm not going to discredit him. It's just not my type of music. We got Texas Gidget in the chat, by the way. Good morning to you. And Albert sent a gift. Albert, by the way, thank you for sending that gift over there on the vertical side. Appreciate that.
The America's 250th anniversary, but it's also a great day to see the investment that President Trump and his administration is making into the Coast Guard, the largest.
That's right. No. Good morning.
Investment since World War II, but dollar amounts is the largest in history, with investing almost $25 billion. And it all started with a year ago when I was still in the Senate, and we voted on the one big, beautiful bill, which was the most consequential bill, definitely in President Trump's.
Yeah, you guys in the Senate and the House, obviously, but both sides of Congress ended up pork filling the shit out of it. You know, it went from an actual decent bill down to a pork-filled funding bill, essentially, which is bullshit.
Tenure, but also I think possibly in the recent history, when you see the investment, it's what good government actually looks like. It cut spending by $1.6 trillion. At the same time, we were able to cut taxes for no tax on tips.
Yeah, Naomi, right when you were leaving, it was funny. Right when you were leaving yesterday at the show, on the show here this yesterday morning, right as you were leaving, we were watching Trump get interviewed before he was headed to North Dakota. And so I actually pointed that out right as you were leaving, but I think you had left already.
85% of the individuals that on Social Security has no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime for the people that are working out there every single day, trying to do their best to provide a living. We put no tax on you for working hard. At the same time, we're able to make the investments, right? We're investments on securing our southern border. With new technology, fighting hard against the drug cartels, going after the narco boats, bringing law and order and restoring law and order back to our streets. One death in an illegal's hand is one death too many. President Trump has made it a pivotal statement when he says we're going to restore law and order back to our streets, regardless of what state or what city you live in. President Trump ran on that, and he's keeping that promise. And the one big, beautiful bill delivered on that. But at the same time, it puts our fiscal house in order.
Yo, I got something for it.
Stop the cap.
And so to be on this side of it now, seeing the results that are taking place, working with ICE, working with CBP, working with the Coast Guard, seeing what that investment means, seeing what we're doing every single day in our waters, on our borders, and in our cities on getting the...
Yo, Papa D coming in with the 420, by the way, and he's saying, get it. Yes, sir. You know we're going to get it. Appreciate the 420 in the chat, making it rain. And we're getting down with our counterclockwise tobacco today. Absolutely. We'll go ahead and blame the COPE. We'll blame the COPE on our usage today.
Worst of the worst out, because we have continuous funding, is absolutely remarkable. And then someone I have to point out, Representative Mike Lawler, who fought every day for SALT and the one big beautiful bill. Now, be quite frank with you, we didn't see eye to eye on this. But this is what representation looks like. This is why you represent good leaders to go to Congress every single day and represent your backyard. That's what our founding fathers.
Yeah, what we need to do is do a complete, utter overhaul of all government. Just get rid of all of it, restart. I mean, honestly, we need to get these fucking guys that are 80, 90 years old in Congress that have served 17 fucking terms straight. Yeah, we need to get them out. These people cannot relate to me and you, okay? On many different levels, generational, financial. They're not the people anymore. Not when you've served 17 terms in a row.
Our founding fathers wanted individuals that's going to go there and represent what the best of the best can offer when you elect the right people, put them in the right place, and they understand the value of the United States. So with that, we're going to stop and open up.
Yeah, I saw that he did that interview, by the way, Steve. I saw that he did that interview yesterday. I just didn't catch it. I didn't have enough time yesterday to be able to watch it, but I'm sure that resonated or came out, because I definitely know how Kennedy's position is on United States and Israel.
Questions.
Take a couple of questions real quick.
Cities. And also, we've seen somewhat of an increase in arrests. Is that a result of pressure coming from the White House, the administration, Stephen Miller?
Every single day.
Real quick, we got Marilyn in the building. Always appreciate you, by the way. God bless. Hopefully you're enjoying your Thirsty Thursday morning. I definitely know that we are.
We allow our men and women, be it ICE, be it CBP, or one of the other 80,000 law enforcement agencies we have in DHS, to simply do their job. My perspective when I came in is I had the best individuals working inside the Department of Homeland Security through all 22 components. They're patriots, and our job is to protect the homeland. We're not necessarily surging. We're going after the worst of the worst every single day, and we work in conjunction with the White House and the president.
All right, this honestly sounds like the same old rhetoric that government gives, of course. Now we already heard the front monologue. That's essentially what I put it up for, was just for that. We don't need to hear 40 minutes of questions and shit like that. We'll just go ahead and move on. Quickly, another thing that's going to take us a minute to get through is because Donald Trump spoke yesterday at Theodore Roosevelt Library over there in North Dakota, as Naomi was bringing up earlier. And we have that for you guys. So we're not going to play the whole thing, but, we'll go ahead and get the front monologue a little bit before he, rambles on. Well, all of it's going to be ramble a little bit, but you know what I mean? We'll skip through a little bit, but we're not going to play the whole thing. We just don't have the time for it. I mean, this whole thing is an hour, so we're not going to do it like that. We're just going to skip around, get a little bit, and then we got to move on. We got a lot of stories that we got to discuss. We haven't even gotten into Russia yet, and that's like the main story of today. So.
Well, I want to thank everybody. This is an honor. We love you, and you've been so nice to me with those votes.
And I just sped it up a little bit, 1.25.
You set every record in the book. But today we come to the heartland of America to pay tribute to a man who embodied the heart and soul and fight and spirit of our country as much as anyone who ever lived.
What's up, Chatting with Stacks? Good morning.
And he's a very special man, and that's why I'm here, President Theodore Roosevelt. And he loved your community, he loved your state, and he was quite something. He was really quite something. And here, beneath the wide open sky of the Badlands, I call it the Badlands. I said, what's that all about? It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool name, I have to tell you. On the steps of the burning hills, we dedicate a living monument to a legend, a statesman, a soldier, frontiersman, and a true American hero. This is a very exciting thing for me. And number one, I have to tell you, because this was an inaugural flight of a certain airplane called Air Force One after 37 years.
Which is true. The new Air Force One that was gifted to us by Qatar, he used that yesterday for the first time. And we reported that yesterday, but he was using it for the very first time, in that kind of regard, actually in service. Yeah, him going to North Dakota was the very first time.
And it's a great plane, and we had a lot of fun with Doug and everybody coming over. But we talked about Theodore Roosevelt a lot because he was something that was really very special. And number two, because I'm honoring Theodore Roosevelt, and that's the man who I have long admired. He's one of the few. I don't admire too many people, I have to tell you.
Let's go ahead and skip ahead a little bit. I want him to get into the meat of what he's getting into here.
Very few places will top it.
Because, he's going to go on about where he's at. He's catering to the people that he's actually at with.
Like Doug Berger. Thank you very much. Fantastic, because I did not know the gentleman too well. But
Let's skip
we
ahead.
could get a couple of little things passed, like voter identification, like proof of citizenship. Called Save America. That's pretty good. Save America. Can you imagine? We have 100% of the Democrats against it and 4 or 5 Republicans, if you can believe that. What are they all about? But these two people are with us all the way. John Hoeven and Kevin Cramer, senators. They're great. 2 great guys. And a congresswoman who fights and gets what she wants, and she's very respected. Julie Fedorchuk. Thank you, Joe. Very, very respected. Fantastic. Dakota House Speaker Robin Wise.
Skip ahead.
Just let us love you, and you've been.
Right now, he's just giving, accolades to people, and we're just skipping through that.
I've been doing this for 2 hours. Thank goodness I love the subject, or I would not have put up with it. Doug said you could come in. I'm prosecuting a war, which we're winning very easily, by the way. But I said, Doug, let's fly in. We'll do 10, 15 minutes. I know I'm going to love it. And then I'll get out. Oh, absolutely, sir. So then time comes. He got me making speeches. I was over there 2 hours. I know more about that museum than the people that built it.
Oh,
but that's
shit.
okay.
This guy.
Oh, shit. Because they did a very good job. I can report that they did a really good job. The CEO of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, who really did give me a tremendous amount of knowledge, about things that I never would have thought could have been possible about how great this man was. Ed O'Keefe. Ed, thank you very much.
Oh, yeah, Steve Posey. Nothing wrong with that. Find yourself a charger, cuh.
And 2 of my sons are here, Eric and Don. Thank you very much.
Skipping ahead.
Foundation staff, donors, and supporters, everyone's here. And I understand that one local construction worker delayed his retirement by 4 years just to be involved with the building, and they heard I was going to come. I was coming even when I wasn't president. I had agreed to come, and they said, well, when we do it, you're going to be president. So that was during that ridiculous time, that ridiculous
2020 to 2024.
4-year period of time. They asked me to come. I said, I'd love to come. And I said, I may or I may not be president. They said, we don't care. We want you to be there. And I always remember that. But they said, you're going to win. You know that. If you run, you're going to win. It turned out we did quite easily, actually. And today I can tell you that we can see why it was worth it. It's really amazing. They've done an amazing job, beautiful job. And, they've done it from love. Jobs that are done from love are always better than jobs where you sort of
we of course agree with that.
have to follow a plan. They made lots of changes, and every one of them was good. And I think I know about every one of them. After 2.5 hours, I learned every single one of them. But I want to really thank everyone who greeted me at the train station, because that was so famous. That was such a famous train. The last one was President Dwight Eisenhower, and he was actually a very good president. People don't realize he was a general, good general. And he built the interstate highway system. I'd say that alone is.
We're going to skip ahead a little bit more.
They've been pretty nice. And I want to give a very special thanks to the Patriots.
And he's going on for the front of this is just giving accolades to people.
They took his name off Mount McKinley, and I put it back on because it deserved it. Put it back on. But McKinley actually, and he was assassinated, but he made tremendous amounts of money, made our country very rich. And then Teddy Roosevelt, as the vice president, got in, and he did some incredible things. But one of them, I think one of the most amazing, maybe a lot of people would say the parks. You could say a lot of different elements of his success, so incredible. But he built the Panama Canal. It was the most expensive project to this date, if you bring the dollars forward.
True. That is very true. It is the most expensive project the United States has ever built. If you were to bring that same amount of money that was spent into today's inflation and what that dollar would be worth today, yes, it is still the most expensive thing we've ever done. But it's a massive, massive, massive control and moneymaker, actually. And unfortunately, Carter gave it away for $1. And now we're in the, obviously the works of trying to recover that. So, but ever since giving it up, that was a bad idea.
Forward ever built in history.
Because he gave it up to Panama, but then Panama gave it up essentially to China. So it's like, what the fuck, dude?
8,000 people died. They died 95% from mosquitoes, malaria, 95%. You expected almost to die. They paid workers from the United States. Mostly they came in, and mostly, I must say, men. It was a little different time. Today would have men and women, but they had all men. And they paid them massive amounts of money, more than they were making as workers in the United States. Such a fascinating thing, the Panama Canal. I've studied it long and hard, and when they gave it away, $1. But they died from the mosquito and they died from the snake. They have a viper, a snake, that if you get bit, you're in trouble. If you get bit, you were dead. You were dead, and that wiped out about 5%. We lost 38,000 people building the Panama Canal. Our people, 38,000 people.
It was one of the most deadly situations as well. I remember when, I was looking up a lot about the Panama Canal. I mean, I've always kind of dealt with it because I was in shipping in that regards. Like I always knew about it in that regard, but I wanted to get like the history behind it. And I remember researching it a couple of years ago, maybe like 3 years ago, and getting into the lore of it.
Died building the Panama Canal.
It was terrible, actually.
It opened, and from day one, it was very successful. And we gave it away. We gave it away. It was the most expensive thing we ever built. And it was also the most profitable thing we ever built. That's a nice combination.
What's up, brother PJ? Good morning to you.
A little bit like Venezuela. We did a good job in Venezuela. And we're actually doing equally as well with the Islamic Republic of Iran.
We're definitely not doing equally as well as what we did with, Venezuela. Sorry, that's objective.
You've heard of it. But think of it.
That's why no one clapped.
So we gave it away. The first thing they did, you know what they did? They raised the prices for the ships by 4 times, and they didn't lose one ship. And then they raised it again twice, and they didn't lose one ship. All they did is make tremendous amounts of money for years and years. How stupid was that? And now China is trying to take over the Panama Canal, and we're not going to let that happen. Okay?
Well, it's been happening. It's not like it's something brand spanking new that just happened today. I mean, this has been an issue ever since us giving it up. I mean, Carter really made where us policing the world. That's around the time, as soon as he left the presidency, that's when it all kind of went downhill. You know what I mean? In the regards of like policing, quote unquote, the world kind of thing. Now we're seeing also different countries as well having different nuclear powers. I mean, dynamics have shifted. So anyways, that's enough of Trump. We have to move on. We're already 32 minutes in. We only do an hour show, and we still have a ton of things to get into this morning. So first we got to get on millions on alert as dangerous heat dome sweeps eastern United States. Yes, over here in the East Coast is getting hammered, especially when it comes to heat and humidity, no kidding. And also storms. I just went through a storm last night, and we're supposed to go through a storm actually through the weekend. So hopefully that doesn't affect the 4th of July party that we're throwing. But nonetheless, we're still getting down with our bad selves out here. And then after that, we're going to be talking about Democratic Socialists ride that wave of momentum after major wins on their side. And then, of course, we're going to be right after that getting into what's going on with Kyiv, in the regards of Russia, Ukraine. As you guys can see, that was actually the main topic of what we're going to be talking about today. So here in about 3 stories, we'll get into that. The 500 drones and missiles that were launched from Russia's side, actually. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. Regards to the heat wave, we're not even going to play this whole thing. It is a short report, but we're going to play it quickly and skim through a little bit and end it.
Our focus right now is on that heat dome that is settling over the eastern portion of the United States, the East Coast, triple digits in New York and beyond. Those heat indices with the air temperature mixed with the humidity causing some major issues. And you can see our computer X-ray monitor here, the reds, the oranges really standing out throughout that heartland on the eastern portion.
Yes, by the way, we have well over 150 people between both the live streams. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. Listen, you guys don't have to love all the craziness that's happening around the world, but you guys can love it for me and what we do here on Insane Wheels. So thank you for that. All right, let's go.
United States. Let's be joined right now here on Live Now from Fox in New York by Fox 5's Francis Wang, discussing some of these heat impacts. There are cooling centers throughout the city, but we've still seen plenty of people out and about. What are you seeing right now?
Yeah, Andy, we've been out here on the west side of Manhattan, close to the Hudson River for hours now, and it's been an ongoing trickle of people jogging and walking here besides us. Here behind us, you see that is Little Island. A lot of people taking cover there because there's a lot of shade. A lot of people wanting to get close to the waterfront to get any sort of breeze on this hot, hot day. And just the first of many. People are finding creative ways to keep cool as well. We're seeing a lot of people with umbrellas, people with their shirts off or in sports bras, what have you. Even a woman walked by with a fan. She said it didn't really work much, but she
Well, yeah, that's not shocking to me. That's not a crazy report.
felt a little cooler just having it. And this is all, of course, because the National Weather Service, they're talking about heat index values hitting nearly 100 degrees this afternoon. It's going to get higher as the days play out. They're urging people to stay hydrated, of course, trying to take frequent breaks by going inside to get air conditioning.
Yeah, my dad actually recently, over this last weekend, he ended up getting not heat stroke, but heat exhaustion, where you actually get sick. Like you're actually physically sick and stuff like that. He was out for like a day and a half. It was fucked. He definitely got smoked.
To make sure to check on maybe vulnerable friends, families, or neighbors. We've seen a lot of umbrellas, especially today, as people try to get any relief from the sun. But Andy, as you were saying, people are still eager to get outside, especially before it gets even hotter. We talked to people from New York and visitors alike. They're just kind of adjusting their routines as the temperatures climb. And then there's the humidity.
Just grab a lot of water, man. Drink a lot of water.
We've been talking about that as well. It's making this feel even hotter. Take a listen.
Oh, it doesn't work.
There's that lady with that fan. There's that lady with that fan right there.
In the UK as well, so talking to my family in the UK, it's not helping either. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, over there in Europe, they're getting fucking smoked as well. I mean, like I was telling you guys, I think yesterday or the day before, I was actually watching a viral clip of these people going to a department store, them opening up, these all across Europe. And whether they be fans, whether they be portable AC units, whatever, they would have them like Costco, on pallets type of thing in the front of the store, and people just rushing in like as if it's like a Black Friday or something like that. It's just nuts.
You can't escape it no matter where you go.
No, you can't. But here, at least we have a breeze.
Normally cycle around the city, first city, like summer here. So I just moved from London. And it's also really hot there. So I'm enjoying the heat here. And then I'm off to Cape Cod for the weekend. So I'm going to try and escape it.
Normally I'd be running with my golden retriever, but he doesn't.
Yeah, over there, I don't know what it is about Europe, man. They just don't believe in AC, I guess. All right, enough of the weather. We obviously know that we're all going to get smoked. All right, let's go and move on into Democratic Socialist ride wave of momentum after major wins. First, what we got to do, we haven't done the money part yet. Let's go ahead and just get that over with real quick.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
And then I think it's only right that we embrace our fuck-ups together. Absolutely.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future. Quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck-ups when you have tomorrow's fuck-ups to look forward to? You are a fuck-up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
Always embrace thy process. Facts. All right, let's go and bring this up and figure out what the hell is going on here. Damn socialists.
All right, you're watching live now. I'm Austin Westfall. Let's talk politics. At this time last night, if you were watching us, you know that we were following the primary results in Colorado. Democratic Socialist Melik Quiros beat Diane DeGette. DeGette began serving.
Oh, I'm with you on that, Easy Frank. That's a fact.
In that seat around the same time that Quiros was born. You might have questions about why did an incumbent with seniority, name recognition, and a long progressive record become vulnerable in a district like District 1. That's Denver.
Now, that District 1 over there is essentially Denver for Colorado. And yes, this was a big ordeal here. Diana was the incumbent, like he just said, and was actually expected to win. So Quiros, Malat, getting the majority is actually shocking to the party itself, actually,
by
as
the way.
well.
So this was an interesting race, DeGette's race. Also, State Attorney General Phil Weiser upsetting U.S. Senator Michael Bennett.
What's up, Warmonger? That's right. Cheers.
More progressive Democrat Manny Rutinell.
Brother TNT, good morning to you as well.
Advancing in the 8th District race. It was not a total sweep for the more progressive left, though. Senator John Hickenlooper ended up winning his bout. He fended off a progressive.
Yeah, the way I chop it up, Steve, is not everyone on that panel is even supposed to agree, and really it doesn't do us super justice debating it All I do is I throw out exactly what's happening, and then, various opinions are going to be flying around, of course, and that's good. I don't want an echo chamber no matter what, right? And so I try to navigate that as best as possible, and that's why I respond the way that I do. So, anyways.
Challenger in his case. We are all, of course, aware that the Democrats have been doing some soul searching since their big loss in 2024. Let's bring in Tom LoBianco. He's here to help us make sense of the party's trajectory. He's the editor and co-founder of 24 Site News. Let's start off with the Quiros race, Tom. As I mentioned at the top, it's interesting. DeGette started surfing in that seat about 30 years ago, around the same time that Quiros.
Damn. I mean, listen, I'm all up for, getting these old incumbents out of office. They've started in politics, been in office for 30 years. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I agree that we need to get these people out, but you can't replace the Democrat Party with socialists. I mean, just God, what are we doing?
Quiros was born.
Come on, people.
Why did an incumbent with not only name recognition, but seniority, a long progressive record, how did she become vulnerable in a district like Denver's district?
Well, what's been going on, and this is very akin to, we've talked about this before. We were talking about this last year. I'm starting to see more people picking up on it now. For lack of a better term, it's Democratic Tea Party, which is to say that you have all this bottled up energy. Go back to 2016, Bernie Sanders. When Sanders launched his race in, I think it was April of 2015, I think there was like 10 reporters who showed up at the, fittingly enough, the stand-up location outside the Capitol for the TV cameras called the Swamp. No lack of irony there. But he just caught fire. And what's been going on for the last 10 years within the party since then is you have this raw energy.
I actually don't know where she was born, but she definitely has that Middle Eastern, name, Malat, whatever.
So that has just been bottled up. And for a long time, the old hands, the old party establishment, I would know the outgoing party establishment, have been able to kind of corral it, finagle things. It's very similar to what happened with Trump in 2016 and his takeover of the party. I was looking, because look down the road here. I was looking at the latest polling on Michigan, and that'll be one of the next big indicators here. We got El Sayed overtaking Stevens and McMorrow in the latest polling we got going on. But I'm looking at this and I'm seeing the movement of these polls. McMorrow started out, with a rough lead way back in March of this year, decent sized lead. It really reminds me of deep into the 2016 primary when you had.
No, he said T-E-A.
Rubio dropping, Cruz still fighting to hold on, and Trump completely ascendant. And I think what we're seeing here is, ideologically, of course, but it's inverted, but it's a mirror image of what happened with Republicans a decade ago.
What's interesting about Quiros's win, and by the way, I'll just again put the results up.
And so I wonder how much money Diana raised compared to Malat. I think Malat said during her speech yesterday that we watched on the show, I think she said $500 some odd thousand. So just $500,000, about $500,000. I want to know what Diana spent.
They've pretty much tallied all the votes. There's still 2% lingering out there, but more than enough room between DeGette and Quiros. The AP calling this one in Quiros's favor, not too long after polls closed yesterday. What does Quiros's win say about the political power of younger voters?
Papa D, by the way, coming in with the 2 spots saying, gotta go adult, ugh. He's definitely upset about it. Have a great rest of your stream. Well, my man, thank you very much for hanging out with us and also enjoying the morning as well. And thank you for the donations. We always appreciate you, brother. Hopefully you stay safe out there.
Inside the deep blue Democratic districts.
Yeah, great question there. Powerful. This is, when we talk about people who are like warriors and fighters among the Democrats, it wasn't that long ago, a week or two ago, that one of the leaders of the impeachment, the council at that time, before he became a congressman, Dan Goldman, was ousted. Okay. And so it has, in many ways, you have this energy that is both, it's a more emotional than what the Democrats are used to. Among younger voters, the animating issue is the October.
Wow. So she supposedly didn't take any PAC money. And that's honestly, they're playing the game correct in that kind of regard. Not taking PAC money, not being a cuck for Israel. There's multiple things that are working right now, and I think both the Democrats and the Republicans need to get their head out of their ass and figure out what the real landscape is. Otherwise, we're going to continue to lose elections. I mean, that goes for everybody. We'll just lose it to the most extremist of everything. So we don't want that.
7th attack, the results of the October 7th attack, the Israel-Gaza war, if depending on where you stand on that, obviously it's different terminology for this, but it is such an animating issue on the left in particular. And, it just, think back to what I think it was a couple days ago, we saw reports that Kamala Harris is now starting to woo Zoran Mamdani, somebody I would know.
Man, fuck these people. Oh shit! Oh shit! All right, we're gonna move on. We get it. We see the landscape. Who won that situation? So, we got brother GEG in the chat, my man. Good morning. Great to see you. Hopefully, you're enjoying your morning. All right, let's get into the main story of the morning. Of course. So, as you guys know, this is what we made the thumbnail based off of: the 500 drones, yes, and missiles as well. So let's go ahead and get into these stories here regarding Ukraine and, of course, Russia making the attack on this side. So let's go ahead and see what's happening here.
Now, I'm Austin Westfall. We've continued to track the...
This is basically as it was all breaking this morning, overnight, basically.
Most recent developments as it relates to the Russia-Ukraine war.
Well, this part was yesterday evening, and there was... explosions that were heard in Moscow, and I saw those reports, and I actually investigated it. And I was waiting to see if there was going to be some sort of hey, Ukraine announced that they're doing this, blah blah blah, whatever. But now, here coming up, I'm going to give you guys, the latest. As of 4:47 a.m. Mountain time, so about 5:50 my time, whatever. Anyways, just 4 hours ago, just for context, Russia launches 500 drones at Ukraine, killing 13 in massive attack. All right, so first we got to get this part over with because there's explosions heard in Kyiv as well. So that's over there in Ukraine. There was explosions heard yesterday in Moscow, like I was telling you guys about, but this is a different thing. This was, just last night. So
we've been hearing from the Ukrainians. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky is warning that there's very troubling intelligence about a potentially massive upcoming attack by the Russians. Zelensky was visiting Ireland, but he recently cut his trip short because he wanted to return to Ukraine. He did post a social media statement saying, "Today, we have information about another massive Russian strike. We have relevant intelligence data."
Oh, man, we got brother VC coming in hot, by the way, gifting out 5 gifted memberships. Let's fucking go, my man, I can't thank you enough for that. Not only helping me, but 5 others in the Insane Wheels family, man. Listen, if you guys received one of these special gifted memberships, make sure you guys show up for the for free for you guys. You'll be able to get 4 members only live streams Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And we don't discuss any of this crazy shit. We actually have a good time and try not to, go crazy. We don't need to necessarily kick a dead horse, right? We don't need to continue doing that on Saturday, at least. We got Baked Bizquick in the building. Good morning to you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your thirsty Thursday morning as well. By the way, make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen. Listen, you don't have to love all this shit. You guys can do it for me and what we're doing here on Insane Wheels. So thank you.
And immediately after this conversation, I am returning to Ukraine. Today, I ask our people in Ukraine to be especially careful, stay safe, and protect your families and children. Be sure to take shelter and pay attention to air raid alerts in Ukraine. We know that Putin has preparing a...
Yo, Big, appreciate the gift over there on the vertical side, man. Thank you for that. Unfortunately, I can't see it, so the mods have to call it out for me when it happens.
Massive strike against Ukraine for some time. That is exactly the threat that we are facing tonight. You're looking at a map right now that shows some of the northern areas of Ukraine, and these are going to be some of the regions that we're sort of looking at as we expect that a Russian operation could be.
And that's exactly what did happen. We have that story for you guys. Now, they bring on Hal Kempfer, which I love Hal Kempfer to death, but we don't need his analysis on something that we already have the actual answer to. So we're going to go ahead and move on from it because there's real no need right this second because we have the updated information. But first, I do have to do one thing. There is a story in between. It's an in-betweener. I unfortunately have to do this because we do things chronologically here. 16 children found living in deplorable Ohio home conditions. Adults arrested. Now, I think I actually saw this story on social media. I think I saw this like last night or the night before that, actually. But real quick, this is a quick update, and then we're going to get into Russia launches those 500 drones and the missiles and all that stuff. So we'll get into that here in a second.
Good evening to you. You're watching live now from Fox, and now we turn to a house of horrors in rural Ohio. Take a look here. The New York Post posting Ohio adults arrested after 16 children found in deplorable conditions inside home. Now, authorities say 16 children from the same family were rescued from a dilapidated home in rural Ohio, excuse me. Authorities say they were living in deplorable conditions with human waste all around and confined to just one room over much of the past 4 years. Some of the children discovered yesterday were unable to speak. The 16 children were between the ages of 18 months and 18 years old. The children's parents and 2 grandparents were charged with felony child endangerment.
You be safe out there, No. We always appreciate you.
Gary Siders Jr., Gary Siders Sr., Christina Siders, and Elizabeth Siders appeared in court today where a judge entered not guilty pleas on their behalf and set a bond at $300,000 for each of them. Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson said authorities found the children while carrying out a separate search warrant in a separate investigation. Officials said it seemed as if no one outside the family knew about the children, including neighbors. Now, authorities today were speaking at a press conference. Let's play out just a couple of their remarks from earlier today.
Defendants were arraigned on 16 counts of second-degree felony child endangering. They were assessed a $300,000 cash or surety bond per defendant. They were ordered to have no contact with each other as co-defendants. They were ordered to have no contact with the victims. We believe, will be requesting court-appointed counsel and will anticipate getting ready for the next stage, which at this point would be a preliminary hearing if they request that, or if they don't waive it, and that'll be with their counsel. Right now, the abuse, neglect, dependency complaints that have been filed are being heard by the Vinton County Juvenile.
Okay, look at this shit. Real quick, this is the 4 adults that got arrested. Unfortunately, I was hoping that they were going to show us this, but they didn't. So this is the fucked up family right here, yo. Let me know in the chat what you guys think about this. You guys tell me what you think. Holy shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Yo, are you serious? Unreal. Absolutely insane, yo. This is just so fucking sad, yo. 16 children are involved in this stuff. Okay, let's bring it back up.
In probate court, the initial hearing occurring now, we are asking for temporary custody to Job and Family Services. The children are safe. They have been placed. We have some other issues we're still dealing with for their safety, but they are currently in a good situation and are being protected. The last thing I want to mention very quickly, particularly for our local community folks, is this is an intra-family situation. This is not human trafficking. There is nothing to put our other children at risk. This has clearly involved a multi-generational family in a very limited situation. We know the early reports came out that some of this might be going on, but we want to assure the public that their children in Vinton County are safe and they do not have to worry about these defendants.
All right, of course, there are authorities saying that this was not a human trafficking situation. This is an intra-family.
What's up, Charlie Rose, by the way? Good morning to you. And yes, totally like out of a horror movie.
Situation. And the 4 accused appeared in court today for an arraignment. We do have some sound from that. We're going to play this out. It's about 2 minutes.
Also, because these cases have come before this court on a complaint rather than an indictment at this time, you would have the right to a preliminary hearing, and you can discuss that with.
What's up, Motobomb? My man, good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your morning so far.
Counsel, once counsel is appointed for you. Do you understand?
You just make it to work there, Motobomb?
All right. The JO has applications for court-appointed counsel. They ask for a $300,000 cash or surety bond, and that if you are in no contact with your co-defendants or with the alleged victims, and that if you are released on bond, that you be required to wear a GPS monitor. Do Do you have anything to say as to any
He
of
said,
that?
okay.
All right, I will grant the state's request then. It will be a $300,000 cash or surety bond. In the event.
Sick bastard, my man. Good morning.
I
There's
thought
the other
that
two.
was what they put in here.
Yeah, that was the original.
What changed?
I had 16 counts, and we identified the kids with their actual dates of birth and removed so their names weren't listed on there. We used their.
And the charges against you, and to set a bond, all right? Have you received copies of the complaints against you? I believe that they filed an amended complaint this morning, which may differ slightly from what you received. They have gathered. They also carry the possibility of 18 months to 3 years of post-release control.
All right.
Yeah, they say incest is the best. Put your sister to the test. Is that what it is? We definitely do not condone that kind of behavior here, okay, ladies and gentlemen?
Judge entering not guilty pleas on their behalf. This is a story here on Live Now from Fox. We will continue to follow as it develops.
All right. So, of course, you guys know as details emerge, you know that I'm going to do my best to follow all the stories that we're presenting. All right. So now let's get into Russia. Just 4 hours ago, this is a big smackback from what Ukraine just did. They did blow up a lot of shit over there in Moscow, in Russia, and they were hitting oil facilities, stuff like that, whatever. Now Russia launches 500 drones at Ukraine, killing 13 in massive attack. It says Russia launched a large-scale attack on Ukraine's capital overnight into Thursday that killed at least 13 people and injured dozens as loud explosions shook Kyiv for hours. The attack included dozens of missiles and 500 drones. That is what we're looking at right now. So let's go ahead and get into this crazy fucking story here. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, bam.
Welcome back into Live Now from Fox, and we are keeping up with that breaking news coming out of Ukraine as Russia has launched strikes against their nation's capital here. I want to bring you out to this live look that we have there, where you can see these excavators and all these heavy machinery that we have this live look from just going through the rubble there from these strikes, as officials say that these strikes came from missiles and drones. Many of these strikes attacking residential areas in Kyiv. I want to bring you out now to this full look that we have here with some of the cameras that we have partners with on the ground over in Kyiv in Ukraine. As I continue to read off some of the latest here that we are following with these strikes, courtesy of the Associated Press. This says Russia launched a large-scale attack on Ukraine's capital overnight into Thursday that killed at least 13 people and injured scores as loud as explosions shook Kyiv for hours. The attack with ballistic and cruise missiles and drones damaged buildings and civilian infrastructure across the city. Many residents took shelter at metro stations after Ukrainian President Zelensky and other authorities issued the first warnings of the attack. The attack killed 13 people in Kyiv and injured 86 more. According to Kyiv's mayor, damage was recorded in 30 locations across the city, mainly residential buildings and civilian infrastructure, saying officials there over in Ukraine. Now, the interim minister in Ukraine said 20 residential buildings were damaged across the city. The emergency service says it developed nearly 500 personnel, or deployed rather, nearly.
You know, when they get numbers like that, it's not only what they see on their radar whenever things are flying, but it's also Russia makes the claim and vice versa. You know, each side will make a claim like, hey, we just, you know, they'll tell their own people, hey, we just launched 500 drones and a dozen missiles or whatever. You know what I mean? And then we got So Loud coming in, by the way, with the 10 spot. Very much appreciate, my man. Thank you very much for that. I had to blow off your ears for that one because it's just necessary. All right. Much love, honor, respect to you, kind sir. We very much appreciate you for the 10 spot.
500 personnel and
Making it
100
rain.
units of specialized vehicles, including a helicopter, to deal with the aftermath of the attack. And you can just see from some of these live images that we're getting right now, just the devastation of those attacks right now on these residential buildings. Just looking at the crews, they're continuing to go through the debris there. And we know that rescue crews are on the ground as well, making sure that people are okay and rescuing anybody who does need help there over in Ukraine. Now, the foreign minister called on Ukraine's allies to strengthen the country's air defenses following what he described as a, quote, night of horror in Kyiv, urging partners not to delay decisions on supplying air defense systems.
So what were they targeting? It looks like they just targeted some like apartment buildings or something. Well, at least this image right here. I wonder what else got struck.
And missiles.
Of course, you guys know we're going to be following all of these stories as they come out. You know, that's our job here. So
on X, the foreign minister says the death toll after the attack may rise as the rescue teams continue their work. Now, Russia has intensified its attacks on Kyiv in recent weeks, even as Ukraine's own long-range drone campaign against Russian military sites. And
how did I fuck up where you clicked, Frank? That doesn't make any logical sense. There's the same 2 live streams that come out every single day. Okay, Monday through Friday, we have 2 live streams simultaneously going. One for vertical, one for not vertical. There's a cell phone at the end of the title. If you exit out of the chat and you hit the actual title, it'll show the title full, and you'll see a little cell phone at the end. If you see a cell phone at the end, that's not the side you want to be on, because you want to be on the horizontal side. Look for the title without the cell phone emoji, just so you know.
Energy facility.
I don't know how I could fuck that up.
Has caused fuel shortages and disrupted supply lines over in Russia. Now, there has been rejections of any attempts to justify Russia's strikes as retaliations from Ukraine's long-range attacks, saying Ukraine was exercising its right to self-defense under Article 51 of the UN Charter, while Russia remained the aggressor. Now, just some of these live looks that we're getting here out of Kyiv, and you can just see the destruction there from these attacks from Russia over in Kyiv.
Well, I'd like to see another image. This is just one spot. I mean, if we're talking about, they're saying at least 13 people have died from this. I would expect only this apartment building to be hit then, because from this apartment building, what the status it is right here, what we're looking at, yeah, I could see 13 people dying in this situation. So how did the other locations that got struck, what were they targeting?
Again, officials saying that many of these strikes hit residential areas over in Ukraine's capital, some of them being residential buildings, as we see those heavy machinery there in that live look that we're getting as they continue to just go through the debris there and make sure to help anybody in need affected by these strikes. So just wanted to bring you back out to the latest there that we're following over in Ukraine.
All right. So as you guys know, of course, we're going to be following all these stories as they come out. I just looked on the My Sources side to see if we got any other updates regarding this Russia-Ukraine thing. Unfortunately, we do not. So you guys know that we are going to follow this, and this is probably what we're going to be talking about tomorrow morning into regards of how not only this strike went, but how the next 24 hours are going to treat us. Treat the world, I mean. So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I can't thank you, each and every single one of you guys, enough for engaging with us, hanging out with us, also hitting that like button on the way in or the way out, double tapping that screen. If you guys could do that for me, I very much appreciate it. Listen, stick around. We're going to be rating our buddy Old Mac. He is an amazing dude. Make sure you guys show him a lot of love and let him know that we're coming through with the Mike Ball raid, and we'll see you guys on over there. Listen, until then, much love, honor, respect to all of you legends. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and God bless everyone. Be safe.
From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges, a host with a fire burning in his soul, with a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on 2 wheels, ready to claim his throne, amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar. Insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with, fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry, a metal mayhem that will never die. With engines roaring, he paves his way.